Okay, slow it down. We're here. Hey everyone, Brick Build Brick Films here, and if you clicked on this video either by accident or completely on purpose, you're probably aware that what you just watched was a sample of stop motion animation. If you are a beginner, as I once was and as every animator once was, or if you're simply just trying to learn some more information, this is the video for you. Today, I'm going to be giving some of my basic tips to beginners in stop motion animation. Today we're going to be focusing on setting up your brick film set, your lighting, and other features that will help you get started into your journey in animation. Do keep in mind that I will continue making videos like these to help further educate you on certain aspects of stop motion animation, so if you'd like to, hit the like button, subscribe, and hit the bell so that you get notified on my next upload in this series. Without further ado, let's get into it. So the first thing you're going to want to do, setting up to make your first stop motion, is making sure that you have the right materials. That means, of course, a camera, the stuff to make a Lego build setup, and of course the right software on your device to set up the stop motion. I use a typical phone camera. I feel like the quality is good enough for a beginner, and I've been using my phone camera ever since, mainly because if you don't have the money to afford a big film camera, then a phone camera is going to work out just fine for you. I use the app Stop Motion Studio. It's one of the best ones out there. I've bought the pro version. I think it's only about $5. So if you're just starting out on stop motion, that's a good route to go. And that's the route that I've been using, and it's worked out for me. Second thing you're going to want to do is build your setup. As for me, you guys know that I'm working on Lego Anakin vs. Obi-Wan. So I'm going to need a lot of fire texture on the ground. I'm going to need the builds of the places that the characters are fighting on, and of course the characters themselves. So I'm going to need a lot of these bricks. I'm going to, of course, need something for the characters to stand on when they're fighting, and I'm going to need the characters. And once you've got that already, you can build it however you like, depending on what you're filming. Like, you guys don't have to be filming what I'm filming, but depending on what kind of brick film that you are getting ready to film, set it up in the way that you'd like. Your first stop motion is not going to have to be super detailed. Nobody's first stop motion was like that. I know that my first stop motion wasn't. So once you've got those things ready, we're ready to move on to number 2. Next step is the lighting. You're going to want to make sure that any windows in the room that you're filming have curtains blocking them so no light is getting in, like this. Reason being is that when you start filming, lights outside will change throughout the day, and that will cause flicker in your film. You want to have steady light. Now that you've handled the situation with the light outside, you're going to need to find a light source for your brick film. You don't want your brick film to be too dark, you want the light to be balanced. You can of course keep the light on in your room, but you'll need any kind of lamp or close light source to project light onto your film so that you don't cast shadows onto the film itself by sitting there and filming. So what I do, and what many brick filmers do, is I keep at least 2 lamps on during my brick films. I keep this one on with paper covering it so that no glare blocks and shines off of my minifigure so it's not too bright. And I keep this one on, which is a fairly dim light, and it's LED, so I don't have too much problems with having to cover it up, but you can always cover up a light if you feel it's too glary. Always make sure that you're using LEDs or no heat projecting lights as to avoid any fire hazards. Now that this is done, you're almost ready to start your first stop motion, but now you run into one problem. Where am I going to set up my camera? Well, what I use is this little neat device right here, and that is simply to hold the camera still and in place whenever I'm filming a stop motion. You can make it like I did out of bricks. You can buy one online. I know they're not too cheap. You can just look up camera holders or phone clamps or things like that, and those kind of things will hold your phone in place when you're filming. I just make mine out of bricks and it works. You can even use some sticky tack to hold it in place so that it stays still while you're filming and you don't end up tapping the camera and the camera moves and messes up your brick film. Alright guys, that was my part 1 video for Beginner's Guide to Stop Motion Animation. If you guys like this video, make sure to stay tuned for the next video where I talk about actually filming the stop motion itself. If you guys like this video, if you learned anything that you didn't know before, make sure to drop a like and leave a comment. And let me know if I missed any topics and I could pick back up on them in the next video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.